The Swett-Winter Child Care and Early Education Center has moved to a new space in Farmington. Katie Sharp takes us there.
A new facility in Franklin County is now helping more families have access to child care. The Swett-Winter Child Care and Early Education Center had a ribbon-cutting ceremony Wednesday to celebrate its new space.
I think it's found its permanent niche in the neighborhood and serving a purpose that benefits all of Maine.
Funding for the state-of-the-art facility was made possible in part by funding from Governor Mills' Maine Jobs and Recovery Act plan and congressionally directed spending secured by Senator Susan Collins. Governor Mills and Senator Collins were in Farmington to celebrate the project's completion and see the facility.
We're celebrating happy children, working parents who are secure in the knowledge that their children are being well cared for, and opportunities for UMF students to have real life experience, not just classroom experience, as they pursue their early education degrees.
Speakers from UMF and the University of Maine system, as well as student teachers and staff for Swett-Winter, shared their excitement and appreciation.
This new building gave us the opportunity to fill such a great need in the community by providing more childcare slots, especially infants and toddlers.
A contribution from the Lennox Foundation, and the facility also provides an outdoor space for children to learn, explore, and play outdoors.
The natural elements within our classroom and natural playscapes outdoors give the children the chance to explore nature-based education in all weather,
giving students of all ages a space to grow and to give parents peace of mind.
Not only do parents need to have childcare to go to work, but they need the peace of mind that while they're working or traveling or doing things, their children can learn and grow in a safe and nurturing place.
Katie Sharp, WABI TV5 News, Farmington.